recording, and the chat room's there. Yeah, they're there. Yeah, grandpa money, that's right. They're getting it all from old Trump, for whatever his name was. I don't remember his first name. Joe Trump? Was it Joseph? Joseph Trump.
Papa Trump?
Yeah. I think that Don's dad was Joseph, was it?
Jeez, I can't remember.
I don't remember. But they're still kind of living off that shyster money.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Let's do it.
You could not find a topic that I care less about than Donald Trump's father.
You don't want to go into great depth on the subject with me? I can't imagine. All right. Let's do a show. Here goes, everybody.
All right.
Enjoy yourselves, because this is all you're going to get in 3, 2, 1.
Whoa, look at this. Hot butter. Oh my gosh, look, it's Spain. Hot butter. Right on the popcorn.
Uncle Johnson, tell me a story.
The morning stream. You're soaking in it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the morning stream. It is not Christmas Eve. It is New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Evil.
I am evil.
That
You know what I like
the
about
best.
that hot butter, that Russian butter reviewer guy?
Yeah.
The fact that he reviews gadgets, kitchen gadgets,
Yeah.
but he pronounces them gadgets.
Yeah, gadgets. What a great gadget. This
Oh,
is
it's good gadget.
This is
Very
good gadget, but probably my favorite gadget. Yeah.
Oh, and it's spraying hot butter all over the popcorn. Oh, great gadget. All right, let's move on to butter corn spreader. We put a piece of corn or a piece of butter in here and smear it all over corn. Oh, good gadget. What
Yeah.
a good gadget.
Yeah, gadgets. I mean, he basically ensured that I'll watch anything he ever does. So
Totally.
I guess congratulations.
Great if we find out that it's the biggest ruse ever. Like he's just
He's just doing a voice.
Mike
Oh,
Fleming from Schenectady, New York, or something.
That would suck. I would be so sad. I need something in this modern world to be real, man, and it needs to be the butter guy. The butter Russian guy needs to be real.
Be the Russian butter guy.
Yeah, I don't want him to change. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. It's Scott and Brian. We're doing a TMS. The morning stream. That's what it's short for.
Yeah.
And it really is indeed December 31st, 2019, which means
really, truly,
as
honestly,
of Thursday, when we come back to the show on Thursday, we'll be in a year that when I was young, thought would never exist. I never thought 2020 would happen.
Right.
In fact,
Sure.
I remember the saying the number 20 or 2000 seemed crazy when I was a kid, because to me it was like, no, that's the future. That's like, that's way in the future. That's science fiction future. That's like, robots roam the earth future. And yet here we are at the 2020. And
this is when Pacific Rim takes place. This is when Terminator Dark Fate takes place.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The film Yesterday, part of it takes place in 2020. Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise takes place in 2020.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
this is good. Oh, there's a whole category of films set in
category.
2020.
Here's the one that's really funny. Sonic the Hedgehog film.
Great.
Well, it comes out in 2020,
Yeah,
so of course it takes.
That's
place in
stupid.
2020.
That's really stupid. I don't like
Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yeah, okay, makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, you'll like this one though. Pokemon Destiny Deoxys. That's some
sure.
anime that happened this year.
Destiny Deoxys.
Future
I don't
X
know anything
Cops.
about
That's
that.
cool. I don't know what that is. Codename Phoenix, Domino, Droid.
Yeah, if only Domino was an X-Men film.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Annihilation Earth. I remember that. That's we need to film like that. That's the that's Aaron Eckhart deal where the aliens attack L.A. or something. I think, isn't it? No, that's Annihilation L.A.
Yeah. Annihilation Earth features Marina Sirtis and Luke Goss.
Oh, never mind. Not the movie I thought it was.
Not the movie.
Huh.
However, Luke Goss, we did just see him in some other future invasion LA, Battlefield LA.
Battlefield. Maybe
We
that's
did
what
just
I'm
see
thinking.
Luke Goss in something else.
That might be what I'm
maybe it
thinking
was
of.
the Death Race, one of the Death Race movies.
Could have been. Yeah, those are fun. I like those. I wouldn't mind watching another Death Race for Film Sack. Anyway,
You wouldn't?
I'll tell you what. Look, New Year's Evil got me in the mood for schlock, man. I want more schlocky garbage. I need it.
Did you sign up for the free Shudder 7 days when we did Christmas Evil?
No, because I already did it back when I watched Creep Show.
You've already. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And I'm currently not subscribed, but.
Oh, okay. That's where you get your great, your terrific stream of schlock.
Well, here's the problem. I only want the schlock as a steady supply of energy for the show. I don't care about it in any other way. Like I care about it in some ways. Like, I'm glad this stuff exists. But in a world devoid of Film Sack, I'm not sitting around watching this kind of stuff. Like, forget it. I'm going to watch something I want to watch. But because Film Sack exists, it almost justifies the subscription, because then we could find some crazy thing that we want to see. Right. But what I found when I watched it before, because we weren't pulling any movies from it, is most of it's garbage. I hear that's about to change. They're about to get a bunch of, like, a influx of really good horror over there. But there's a lot a lot of crap on there, like really crappy stuff. And I was like, this isn't worth $8 a month. I'm not doing this.
No, that'll be one of the first ones I get rid of when I finish watching, when I start and finish watching Creep Show.
Yeah. Actually, I'm really excited to hear how that goes, because I want to know what you think of that. I'll bet you.
I'm debating on if I'm going to keep it until I start Creep Show, because I'm still in The Expanse. I'm at near the end of season 2 of The Expanse, which means I still have 3 more seasons of The Expanse to go. Right there on season 5 that just came out.
5 just. No, I'm sorry. Hold on. Did 4 just start or 5 just start? Now I don't know. I think 4 maybe it just started.
Oh, if it's okay. Well, that's still a lot.
It's still a lot of content. Yeah.
Yeah, and it may be really worthless to keep Shudder going for a month when I'm probably not going to be using it.
Good point. Oh yeah, season 4 is what just started. That's right.
Okay.
And don't let season 3 has a little bit of a slowdown. Okay. I don't want you to have that daunt you, though. I want you to push through that as your friend and advisor. Push through season 3 of The Expanse's slow bits, because it really kicks in 4.
Really? Okay, cool.
Please tell me that Deputy Undersecretary is still in season 3 and season 4.
She's still in it. She's all up in it. She's still smoking 12 packs a day.
I really like her, honestly.
Oh, she's amazing. She's amazing.
She is.
And you know what? I don't know how old she is. She's probably 60-something, 70, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She looks amazing.
She does, yes. Like lead to shoe or something like that.
If she walked into a room, the whole room would just go, "Oh my gosh, what are we doing today?" Look at her.
No, she's got kind of a Catherine Zeta-Jones from the future kind of look to her.
After 1,000 packs of cigarettes from the future.
Right, exactly. Shore Ag
Aganathon.
Ag de Shlu.
Ag Shvilla Shmoo. Yeah.
And she is 67 years old.
Yeah, she looks amazing. She is very compelling. There's just something about her. I think she just commands the space she's in. Like, even at like a Comic-Con panel, you see them all up there schlubbing it, you know.
Right.
Some guys are in their jeans and t-shirts, and, you know, it's just like they're chilling at Comic-Con. She gets up on that panel and everything changes. The whole cadence of the event changes. She's just like some kind of glorious creature that floated from another planet.
I think she was in the X-Men film, the really crappy third one, Last Stand. She was.
Oh, that was bad.
It was House of Sand and Fog. She was great in with Jennifer Connelly.
Wasn't Gandhi in that? What's his name?
Gandhi was in that. Yeah.
Can't think of his name.
Ben Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley. Yeah.
Ben Kingsley.
Yeah. Schindler's buddy. Schindler's little helper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
But boy, that voice, man. She's
like Harvey. Who's that guy that does? I can't think of his name.
Yes, Firestein.
Harvey Firestein. She's got a little bit of the Harvey Firestein voice, which is pretty great. Harvey Firestein with an accent. Yeah, one of the good Harveys. Did you see that thing where Harvey Weinstein shows up to his court stuff with a cane and a wheelchair, and he's just feebling around, and everyone's like, oh, he's got the gout or whatever, and he, they're all, oh, poor Harvey Weinstein. He's going through all this stuff.
Harvey Firewire.
As soon as the court thing's over, he's seen just walking around, no cane, no thing. He just was bullshitting.
Yeah.
Piece of crap.
It's
you disgusting scone.
It's the guy that was suing the Bradys, who showed up to court with the neck brace on, and
yep, that's exactly it. I hate that when people get caught doing that. I hate it.
Try to curry sympathy from the jury.
Yeah, I don't like it. No, scones are good. I'm just saying he looks like a big pockmarked scone. Imagine that guy trying to come on to you in the middle of a freaking a hotel room. Yeah, come into my hotel room and we'll take a look at your resume. Like,
oh no, my robe fell open.
Oh, what have I done? Oh well, I guess we'll just have full view of my man unit. He's just so gross. Anyway,
he's gross. Foul individual.
He's a foul individual. All right, I got to share an experience I had last night with what I consider to be another foul individual. But I cannot for the life of me figure out why this was happening, and it happened all night long. It didn't matter. I would wake up from it and go, whew, glad that's over, go back to sleep, and I would continue the dream. The dream would not leave me alone. You ever have?
Really?
Yeah.
Like you'd wake up, you'd be separated from it, but then when you went back to sleep, it would come back in.
Yeah. Do you ever have one of those where it just won't leave? Oh my gosh.
It usually happens if I'm sick, if I'm doing like NyQuil.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
Yeah, that stuff will get you.
Probably a good drunk thing too. Like if I'm drunk, then it'll.
There's a fun local Utah joke about NyQuil being they call it Mormon vodka, basically.
I love it.
Yeah, a lot of people when they're looking for a
found
little.
out that a knife can be called an Arkansas toothpick.
Right. It's like one of those, right? It's one of those kind of things.
Exactly.
Anyway, John Voight is in my dreams. And
did he bite a pencil?
Yeah, he got out of his car and into my dreams. Anyway, he's in my dreams for some reason, and in my dreams, John Voight is, sometimes the premise is already set and you never had to watch it, you just know it, so you already know what the premise of your dream is. That's how this was. I knew as the dream started that for some reason he's living with us, that he's suffering from severe dementia, and that he's getting harder and harder to manage because of the dementia.
So basically, he's Ray Donovan, the character he plays on Ray Donovan.
Kind of, yeah. And so, in this scenario, we have to, for some reason, there is a trip we're going on that we have to go on. Kim, me, and Carter, and nobody else for some reason. It's just the three of us. And we have to leave, but to do it, we have to leave him home. We can't take him with us. And at one point,
he's house sitting for you.
Yeah, I guess, or something. I don't know what's going on. It's almost like he's family, but he's not family. Like I can't figure out what's going on. But he's horrible. He'll pee the bed, and then he'll walk out in the living room. He'll grin and then fall on his face, and you'll think he's dead. He'll actually smack his head on the floor, on the hard floor, and you think he's dead. But then he'll get up again, and then poop himself, and then just a real mess. And it's all John. It's John freaking Voight. And
and had you seen anything with John Voight in it recently?
No, nothing. That's the thing. Other than, maybe 3 weeks ago I saw the Seinfeld episode about the car. That's it.
Sure. Okay.
Like I don't pay a lot of attention to John Voight. The last time we saw him on Film Sack, I think, was Anaconda. Like that's how long ago it was. So I just don't. He's not in my life really. But in the dream, and I kept waking up from it, going back to sleep, and the dream would continue, like right where I left off. It would pick right up.
Oh, I hate that.
Oh, it was so annoying. And he was all in it and doing his thing. So finally, we did have to leave. And for some reason, we decided to leave him with a red-headed neighbor kid. Now, the reason I say red, it's not a kid I know. It's not an actual neighbor kid I know. But for some reason in the dream, there's a neighbor kid who has very red hair and just lots of freckles. And for some reason, in the dream, it was like, that's what we'll do. We'll leave him with this kid. This kid will watch him.
So he's like a Dennis the Menace kind of kid. It sounds like,
I don't know.
A problem child, or
he didn't even have like he never really exhibited much of a personality. He was just kind of a mannequin of a kid.
Oh, that'll make things easy for John Voight.
That's what I thought. So anyway, in the dream, we leave, and I have all the security cameras on. And as soon as we leave, I check the security cameras, and John Voight is walking through the house with just a like a dress shirt on and nothing else, unbuttoned, open dress shirt, nothing else.
Okay.
The kid
Just
is
describing with Harvey Firestein or Weinstein.
exactly under his arm. He has the upper half of a naked lady with no face. For some reason, she has no face. I can't explain that part. I don't know. She has no face, but it's this naked lady, and the kid is on the other end carrying the feet of the naked lady, and they're going into a room where I don't have a security camera. That's
hilarious. You're watching this.
And now I'm just watching this happen from like my car, from my phone in the dream.
Oh my god.
And that's where it ends. But that took all night to tell that story. It was awful. I hated it. John Voight is an a-hole in my dream. He is just a pain in the butt. On the one hand, has dementia. On the other hand, I think he doesn't, is faking it as just being an ass. Like, I don't know what was going on, but freaking F John Voight.
All right. Well, we've got our Thursday with Wendy set up. We don't need an email.
It was so weird. And it made me feel weird, and it made me feel gross. And every time I'd wake up, I'd go, oh, gross. What are we doing here? So I got up and I peed, and I got a little water, and I was like walking around for a little bit thinking, okay, let's shake this off. Let's play Tetris or something. I didn't play anything,
shake it off, meaning shake off the dream.
Yeah, shake off the dream. Exactly. Shake it off.
Yes.
I mean,
just clearing it up for anyone listening.
No, I can see the confusion. I totally can.
Yes.
So I went back to bed, and it just kept coming back, and I just don't get it. So if anyone out there has an interpretation of what's going on, I mean, I know that John Voight is kind of, newsy lately because he's like a big time Trump butt licker, and and that sort of thing. So maybe that's where he's creeping in. I don't know.
Could be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have an explanation for it. To me, it was like, it was as inexplicable as why Seinfeld chose him as the guy's car that they were going to get in the pencil that was chewed. Like, why John Voight of all people, of all the
Angela
actors?
Jolie would think of this whole thing like, walking through your house, as somebody put it, Donald ducking it with the shirt and no pants, carrying a naked lady with the redheaded neighbor child that he was supposed to watch.
Yeah, I don't know. Do they even hang out? Do you think they had Christmas together or anything? Do you think Angelina Jolie and John Voight hang out?
It does. You got to wonder what those holiday get-togethers are like.
Yeah, for all these, for all the the Baldwins and the freaking, I
Right.
want to know. Yeah. I know Ron Howard gets together with his brother and their dad before he died, and they all hung out and they were a happy family, right?
Sure.
I get that can exist, but I want to know, does Daniel and Steven hang out with Alec on Christmas Day?
Right. Or, well, specifically, do any of the other Baldwin brothers hang out with Steven?
Yeah, good point.
Because it feels like the one wheel that kind of fell off the truck and just kind of kept rolling down the exit ramp.
Yeah, a little bit. So yeah, all the famous families. I've always been curious about that. If you're a family, it seems like the Hemsworth boys all get along.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure they all get along and they all get together and do stuff. I'm sure Lily Allen and Alfie,
Oh yeah, they like each other. Right?
Pass the Jello salad at the table and stuff like that. But
you think she calls him Reek and demands he passes it? Or?
Would you like the sausage?
Just sit there doing this.
Right.
Still the greatest gift to ever come out of that show.
It really is. Yes.
Anyway,
that's a gift.
I'm always just curious about family. Yeah, famous families. Do they hang out? Are they sick of each other? Do they hate each other? Is there any love? Is there love lost? How do you make that work? Because I don't think that'd be very pleasant. That would suck.
No, I feel like the Voight / Jolie clan would be a rough one, because I know that for a while they were not talking to each other. There was major animosity between those two, and I don't know if they ever patched things up. So that would be a tough one. I think the Baldwin one is a good example of another one that might be a tough one.
Mm-hmm. Plus, I think Alex, some of them, I wonder if some of them are like, well, your popularity and your level of fame is so much greater than ours that causes friction for some.
Right.
Right. That's how Clint Howard
They're
should
sitting
feel.
around the table, and Stephen Baldwin says, I really don't care for your Trump impersonation that you do on SNL. And Alec just looks at him and goes, okay, Biodome.
Well, Well, it wouldn't be hard to like throw back another bad Alec Baldwin movie,
No,
though.
oh yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
you just got to stay away from the usual suspects. Anything else, any other movie is fair game
Yeah.
to put Stephen Baldwin in his place.
Oh, he was so good in that. Bums me out. He was really good in that movie.
He was really good in that.
He said some terrible things in it that now he says in real life. So now I'm starting to think the character and the dude were the same. But
right.
Yeah. Anyway, John Voight Dreams.
Kuzak's probably all hang out. I like the ones that people are bringing up in the chat room. The Kuzak's
Yeah, they've got
probably
that.
all hang out for Christmas. You gotta expect that.
Yeah, and they got like a third
The Wilson
sister,
brothers.
and I think they all get along with their parents and stuff. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, there's definitely. I'm sure there's.
Jonas Brothers probably all hang out.
Yeah, they like each other, don't they?
The Hanson kids who aren't kids anymore.
Isn't one of the Jonas Brothers is married to Sansa Stark, and apparently she's attached to her Juul vape machine 24/7. Is what I've
really?
heard and seen. Yeah, if you look up any picture of them, she's sucking it, holding it, wearing it.
Always,
it's just there.
Ugh.
And I wonder if like Thanksgiving, she's at the end of the table just huffing on that thing with vanilla cheese delight or whatever flavor she's got in there. And the rest of them are just like, dude, can you have your wife like put that in her purse?
Could you ask your wife to put her smoke box away, please?
Blow her
Vanilla
smoke.
cheese delight. That is going to be a show title.
I don't know whatever flavors they do. They got all kinds of weird flavors. But yeah, if you
I
just
assume that it's always cotton candy. Always. I just always assume cotton candy.
So if I do a Jonas Brothers married, I can't remember her name is the problem. You can use, yeah, here we go. Jonas Brothers, who's married? Okay. I'm looking, Jonas, Sansa Stark. There it is. Sophie Turner. That's who it is.
Sophie Turner.
So if you look up Sophie Turner, who
I can remember Maisie's name because that's a great name, but Sophie Turner I can never remember.
when she started out on Game of Thrones, she was very young. She was like, what, 12 or something?
Wow.
So, it's the rigors of a Hollywood upbringing means you got to vape. You got to vape.
Right.
Okay, or here's what you do. Sophie Turner vape. If you search for that in Google Images, just non-stop images of Sophie Turner vaping. Just vaping.
Oh yeah, look at that. All different pictures, different outfits.
Yep.
But all the same.
Yep. Vaping.
Like she's trying to stick her tongue inside the headphone port of an iPod or something.
Yeah, like it's breathing. Like you don't live unless you vape.
Did she learn nothing from Dark Phoenix?
Yeah. I mean, nobody did, really.
What was I going to say? This is kind of weirdly tangential celebrity news, but you like the Billie Eilish, right?
I do like the Billie Eilish, yeah.
And her brother, who's super talented, and I'm trying to remember his name.
He does a lot of arrangement stuff with her, right? Like
he does. Like he arranges all of her. Phineas. He performs under the name Phineas.
Oh, all right.
If you look up Billie Eilish's brother's girlfriend, you'll see a weird thing. Where, yeah, here we go. I'm going to put this image in our Discord chat. I'll also put it in the chat room.
Okay.
On the left is Billie Eilish.
Uh-huh.
On the is Billie Eilish's brother's girlfriend.
Oh, really?
Yes, very similar in look.
Yee! I don't know about that. That's weird.
It's really weird. It's kind of funny. It's like
they both have stoner eyes.
They kind of do, yeah. Here's a better one. It's almost like a game. Which one is Billie Eilish? Which one is the girlfriend?
Yeah. Are there any pictures of Billie Eilish where she's not wearing a tent or whatever it is she's wearing all the time? She's always in a
like
tent.
An emo tent?
Yeah, it's always like oh yeah, look at that. That's crazy, dude. Oh, look,
Yeah.
he's like a little red-headed little ginger man. I like that.
He's like a little leprechaun.
Yeah, I like some of her music. The ones they play on the radio are way overplayed. That bad guy thing is too much, but
It is.
That's good.
I've heard some great covers of Bad Guy. There's a great ska cover by the Replicators. The Replicants? No, who is it? It is.
Ooh, a ska cover of that.
Yeah, and it's great because it it kicks in with the horn.
That's perfect. Yeah, I could hear it.
Is. Interrupters. That's it. The Interrupters.
Oh, that's
we'll play.
cool.
You know what? I'm gonna get it on the show here in the next week.
Yeah, why not? I like that. That's awesome. But that reminds me. Okay, so this is the only year-end thing we'll do unless we think of something else.
Sure.
And you probably said this on Coverville and I missed it. Your favorite album of 2019, new album.
My favorite album. This is going to. So I put my 3 favorites on Twitter the other day.
Yeah.
And my 3 favorite albums of the year are Hyperspace by Beck,
Okay.
Sound and Fury by Sturgill Simpson,
Oh yeah, dude.
and my favorite album of the year is Father of the Bride by Vampire Weekend.
Really?
And it's
That
in
is a
no
good
small
album.
part-
Yeah.
And no small part to the fact that Haim, the band Haim, is involved,
Yeah.
and no small part to the fact that it's kind of a concept album. Like it's got a through line about marriage throughout the whole thing that is kind of like a consistent story. It's crazy.
That is a really good album, and part of why I like it is because it does not adhere to the typical Vampire Weekend sound exactly. It's a different thing, and it's very good. Yeah. Okay, that's a good one. I'd forgotten about that. I didn't know Beck had a new album, so that bums me out. I'll have to check that out.
No, don't be bummed. Now you have a whole new Beck album to enjoy. You should be excited. It's like, oh, I have an entire brand new Beck album that I haven't heard any of.
Sure.
Like if I could hear that album again for the first time, I'd love it.
I think my favorite album of the year, if I had to pick one,
Yep.
I concur with most of what you said.
Sure.
And I even sight unseen, I'll bet the Beck one's good. But I'm going to say my number one album of the year, weirdly, because this is usually not me. It's not the genre I'm into.
Sure.
But I listen to this more than anything else. I think it's Hollywood is Bleeding by Post Malone.
Really?
His new
Okay.
album, this is the ones that, for people who maybe not know a lot about it, except that he did a thing with Ozzy. It's the one with Ozzy on it. Ozzy Osbourne's on a track. It's really good. I played that more than anything this year, and I loved it. Really, really liked it.
That's cool.
For
All right,
those
I'm
in the
putting it on my
chat
list
that
to
thought I was
check
going to
out.
say the Fury Road soundtrack, no, I still listen to it, but no, it had to come out.
Yeah,
this year.
I don't get to listen to a lot of stuff that isn't cover songs. So, because it feels like I'm always preparing for a show.
Yeah.
But
You should check it out. It's so
totally.
he's figured out a way, and they just seem to get better and better. But figured out a way to bring melodic tone to a kind of rapper hip hop sensibility, and it's a mix I really like. Like,
cool.
everyone knows a Spider-Man song, the
Right.
Sunflower song. Yeah, everyone knows that.
I sing it actually just like Miles Morales in Into the Spider-Verse, don't I? Isn't that the way he sings it?
Yeah, he just kind of mumbles it. But this new album, Hollywood's Bleeding, is very, 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 very good, in my opinion. All right.
I will put it. I'll put it in my list for tonight. So I'm still planning on driving for Lyft tonight, and I'm gonna have 3 Apple Music radio stations ready to go. You know how you basically pick a song you like and then say,
Sure.
Siri, make a radio station out of this, and it'll make an entire station based on that, like basically a Pandora thing.
Sure.
Or Spotify. So I'm gonna have one that's Frank Sinatra croonery kind of stuff. I'm gonna have one that's like a hair metal, starts with "Kickstart My Heart" by Motley Crue.
Nice.
I'm gonna have an EDM, Daft Punk, probably starting with Daft Punk Around the World, and maybe I'll start another one that starts with Post Malone and kind of,
Yeah.
how's that?
Some of the stuff, some of his shared universe gets a little mumble rappy for my taste, but his actual stuff, I don't know. I don't know what it is. He's just
Cool.
infectious. I'm not sick of that album. I really like it.
That's cool. No, I'll give it a listen for sure.
All right. Well, we'll
I apparently got to check out Maggie Rogers too. I've been hearing
who's that?
a lot of good things about Maggie Rogers.
Should
Heard it in a past life.
Should I know her from something? She.
I don't know her from anything. I just know that somebody has recommended her stuff to me.
Interesting.
TVZ on says just do the End of the Spider-Verse soundtrack. Is the soundtrack all good? Like, it is a variety of people, right?
Oh, the Spider-Verse soundtrack. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a whole bunch of
Yeah.
artists, I think. His only song on there is that one, but
Gotcha.
it's a good one. That's still a good song. And his last album was good too. The albums just getting better, and this newest one just has a lot of crazy range and interesting. Like I said, the Ozzy Osbourne combo he does, or the collaboration he does.
Collaboration. Yeah.
It's such a great homage to like Ozzy era metal. It's just, and it doesn't. You would think it wouldn't fit within the Post Malone, whatever that genre is, but it works. It's very good.
Cool.
Anyway,
all right.
I'll
give it a listen.
Somebody out there is going to think I'm crazy, but I really like it. All right, Brian. Now this. Whoops. Now this.
Hi! Breaking news!
All right, time for the breaking news. It's brought to you by.
They're all gonna laugh at Current Geek. Oh, I did that. I did the whole thing backwards. It was supposed to be the echo on the first part, and no echo on the back part.
Oops.
Current Geek is back this week. Check Thursday for a brand new show. It's currentgeek.com for details.
Yeah, Tom was in Japan for 2 weeks, but he'll be back, and so when he gets back, we'll be right back
I can't wait
at
to
it.
hear about the Japan trip. Was this his first time to Japan?
No, I think this is maybe second overall.
Okay.
I think
God,
so.
I wish I could have recommended that really nutty restaurant that Tina and I went to with the guy dressed up in the frog costume humping the side of my wife's head with a Kermit doll.
Right. Maybe they
I wish I could have recommended that experience to Tom and Eileen.
maybe they went. Who knows? You never know. I guess we'll have to ask him. I guess we won't see him tomorrow, though, because there's no show tomorrow. But anyway, we'll see how that went for him. In the news today, there's a new wearable vest. Wearables,
Really?
they're the hot thing. Yeah, these watches, people wear these. You got they got the Fitbits and the whatnots and the stuff hanging off your clothes, and some people have like warming coats and things like that. Well, here's a new one, a self-sustaining garden, and you water it with your own Waterworld style urine.
All right, you can be the mariner too. I like that the headline begins with "This wearable vest grows." Aren't all vests wearable?
Yeah, it feels like all vests are wearable. They're wrong about. You should say this vest.
This wearable self-sustaining garden is a vest that's watered by your own urine.
There you go. It's not hard, people. Brian and I went to basic public education English, okay? And we know how you're supposed to do it. What's
We
wrong
went
with
to
you?
basic public education English. Yes.
What do you have fourth period? Basic public education English.
Perfect.
We should slough.
All right. Anyway. So
Was that the word
great,
you
that's
used? You guys would say slough. Would you say that when you'd miss class and go to the mall or something? Would you call it
ditch? Is what we'd say.
You guys would say ditch. We call it sloughing.
Ditch. Slough.
Yeah, sloughing.
SLOUGH
No, I
or
think it was
SLUFF?
UFF, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Slough.
That's
You
my
have a slough class?
least favorite cable network is the UFF channel. But yeah, no, we'd slough class, and then others would ditch class, and others would skip class. And
Interesting.
I
Yeah,
always had
ditch.
this feeling that sloughing was a thing only we said, and now I think you helped me confirm it. Maybe we only did.
Yeah, that might have been a Utah thing.
Yeah. Feel like that.
Slough. Huh.
Anyway.
It's funny because I looked up slough, and the alternative spelling of SLUFF is SLOUGH. Like when a snake loses its skin, when it sheds its skin, it's slough.
Sloughing school. I'm gonna look this up. Okay,
Sure.
so it is used.
Yeah.
It's,
I never doubted you for a second.
Oh no! But I felt even at the time like we were using it more than other places were using it.
Yeah, that feels like it's regional, like soda versus pop.
Yeah. Let's see how they say it.
Slough.
Okay, that's what we thought.
Okay, sure.
Slough. Hold on.
Interesting.
Slough.
Deseret News is one of the first articles that kind of one of the first sources of slough school when you Google it.
Oh,
And
you're
Deseret
right.
News
It
is a big Salt Lake City.
DeseretNews.com, the ABCs of sloughing school.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's a local paper. So now it makes sense.
There you go.
So this thing, you pee to make it grow, which is cool.
Is it transparent? Like, I feel like I want it to be one of those biospheres.
Oh, you
Those
want like a plastic, like...
Oh my God! No, it's just like you're wearing a chia vest,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, it's a chia vest. That's
a
exactly
Pia
what
vest.
it is. It's a Pia on your chia vest. Arusak Gabrielian says she was inspired to create what is believed to be the world's first wearable farm after seeing what her body could provide for her newborn. I hope she wasn't feeding pee to the kid. Anyway.
Right.
Jeez.
This raises a whole bunch of other questions.
This project's called Post-Human Habitats. It's a vest or cloak that cloak is even a cooler term.
Yeah.
That grows plants and crops using fertilizer from insects and human waste. The vests are currently on display in Beijing as part of an exhibition called Human Unlimited. They are designed to provide sustenance for the wearer in the future world where climate change has degraded the soil and people are forced to flee floods and other climate impacts. Just stay out of Utah, everybody. You coastals.
Yeah.
Just go to Montana or something. Gabrielian. It's a weird name. An assistant professor of architecture at the University of Southern California and a landscape architect spoke with As It Happens guest host Helen Mann about her project. Here's what they said. Can you describe Helen Mann? What would Helen Mann's power be?
Able to produce a show that I've never heard of before. Excelsior.
Nice. You got to add that at the end.
Yes.
It's probably a podcast, if I had to guess.
I'm guessing, yeah.
Yeah. People make those. They're back,
The podcasts are back. Thanks, Ricky Gervais.
That's right. It says, can you describe for us what these wearable farms currently look like and how they're actually worn? And her answer was, the project uses technology that actually exists in creating vertical gardens throughout the world. In particular, soilless systems that were developed by the French botanist Patrick Blanc. Anyway, you basically just pee and then it waters it.
Here's it's funny that it takes a while to get to the question, how do you water it with your own pee?
Yeah. What does she say?
And she gets to a thing called, well, it's the idea that your urine would be captured via catheter filtered through a process called forward osmosis, which is developed by NASA technology, currently exists. It's used in space and delivered to the crops as irrigation. Yeah, no, that's all right.
Yeah.
Just water.
I don't want to.
Just water.
I don't want to eat.
Regular water's fine.
I mean, I guess if the only thing left in the world to eat is a potato growing on my vest and I had to pee on it to make it grow, I guess okay, fine. If
Yeah,
that's the
you'd eat
only
that
way.
potato?
Yeah, if I had to.
If you had to, sure.
Yeah.
Then there's the question, what does it feel like? How much does it weigh? Does it smell? And her answer is, yes, it does. All of these things.
Do they smell?
But yes, it does all of these things. That doesn't answer what does it feel like?
No.
Or how much does it weigh? It just answers the question, does it smell?
Yeah, it's like saying, what does it feel like? Yes.
Yes. Right, exactly.
Okay, I'm starting
It's
to.
20 pounds because it's carrying 20 pounds of crops.
Okay.
And it has an intense smell. Oh, great.
Yeah, like
Let-
any crop
Stand
would.
next to me on the subway, urine farmer.
Why wouldn't you just put this in your, whatever we have in the future, our little, whatever we have, little caves we live in. Why not just keep your little farm in there? Why you got to walk around with it?
Right, exactly. You don't have to walk around with, all that pee is just going to waste.
Yeah.
Let's stop off at the 7-Eleven, use the public bathroom. There's a whole bunch of pee that's not getting used to water my
I
crops.
just don't like the idea of people just peeing freely, just in public.
Hold on, I'm watering my garden right now.
Yeah. It's like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm all right. Okay.
Just watering my garden.
It's better.
Yeah. I do like I think the term pea farmer.
Bee farmer's
Anytime
pretty good.
you're around somebody who kind of smells, you're like, oh man, is there a pea farmer nearby?
Only people who've heard this show will get it.
That's great.
Or read this article. All right, Zac Efron in the news. Everyone's favorite handsome man.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a man, right? He's not in his. He's old now.
He's definitely a man. He's 30.
Okay.
32. There we
Oh,
go. 32. It
All
says.
right. No longer in that High School Musical at all.
No.
Which we
He's no,
a big deal here in Salt Lake
High
City.
school parent musical.
It was that whole thing was filmed here, and everyone counts it as some kind of weird badge of honor that High School Musical was filmed in Utah. And my sister, by the way, my sister-in-law Oaknon's in it, so she's an extra in that damn thing. So next
Really?
time, yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
Next time you're watching High School Musical, Brian,
Yeah.
look
The
around.
next time will be the first time I ever watch High School Musical, FYI.
Look for some extra Asians in the film, and you will find my sister-in-law. Anyway,
Some ancillary Asians. Okay, great. I'll keep an eye
Ancillary
for it.
Asians. Oh, it's a good new movie name, isn't
It's
it?
a good punk band open for Billie Eilish. The
Yeah.
Ancillary
Yeah,
Asians.
Yes, exactly. Before she comes out in her big Coleman tent, they can perform. All right. Actor Zac Efron reportedly contracted a serious illness while filming his series Killing Zac Efron.
Wow, he's method.
Yeah, he really is. Actor Zac Efron speaking out after it was reported he contracted this medical illness while filming a show titled Killing Zac Efron in Papua New Guinea just before Christmas. He says this, very thankful to everyone who has reached out, age 32, Efron said in a tweet on Sunday. I did get sick in Papua New Guinea, but I bounced back quick and finished an amazing 3 weeks of PNG. What's PNG?
Papua New Guinea.
Oh.
He just didn't want to use it twice in the same sentence, I guess.
Okay. I can appreciate that.
I did get sick in Papua New Guinea, but I bounced back quick and finished amazing 3 weeks in Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, I think.
By the way, did I mention I was in Papua New Guinea?
Yeah, I'm in
I'm also
Papua New
doing
Guinea.
CrossFit. Did I mention I'm doing CrossFit?
Whenever I see PNG, I think of the graphic format because I deal with them all the time.
That's right. Look, I'm Zac Efron. I have a transparent background.
That's right. These are better than JPEGs because you don't have to have a background. Whee! They're slightly bigger, but you can animate them. Anyway, the star went on to share that he's home with his family and friends for the holidays. Thanks for all the love and concern. See you in 2020, he concluded. Great.
All right.
But, it's ironic because he was making something called Killing Zac Efron, and he could have died. See?
Right.
See the irony there? That's a real bummer.
I
if
know.
that
No,
happened.
that's what I'm saying. He's method.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's why
No relation, by the way, to Nora Ephron.
Right.
Yeah, she's a PH.
She's a
He's an
PH.
F.
He's an F. He's a PNG.
Yes. He's a PNG.
He's a transparent PNG.
He's a GIF. He's an animated GIF.
He's a graphical interchange format. I was going to say something about... Oh, I know what it was. Do you think that if you're in a movie like Killing Zac Efron, or if this, I guess it's a series, or you're in a show like Killing Eve, or anything where it's killing the character, real name or not.
Killing Sarah Marshall.
Yes. Wait, that's not a thing.
It's forgetting.
Oh,
Sarah
forgetting,
Marshall.
right. Do you think that you have to do you buy extra insurance because if you die, the whole project's screwed because you can't kill Zac Efron for real. You know what I mean? Like, what if Zac Efron died because he choked on a peach pit? Then what?
You think you need extra insurance because it's in the name?
You know what I mean? Because
I don't know what you mean.
A secondary character, some ancillary character can die in real life, and you can make up for it by replacing them, having a funeral in the thing. Like when.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't have to be a killing. You kept mentioning movies that have the word killing in the name, but you're saying it even could be like the Being John Malkovich.
Yes.
Or some movie where the person that's starring in the movie is in the title, and if they die, then all of a sudden. You're the whole project has to be scrapped.
The entire thing goes to the can.
You can't just Dr. Parnassus or the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus or whatever that movie was that Gilliam did,
Terry
Gilliam, he replaced Heath Ledger's character with somebody else halfway through.
Oh right, I forgot he did that.
Mm-hmm. I never saw that either. Did you ever see that?
No, never did see it. Never did. I wonder if that was good. Oh, you know who he replaced him with? Johnny Depp. He replaced him with, right? Did Johnny Depp get jammed in there or something?
Might be. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's. I think Terry Gilliam always has a little Johnny Depp in his back pocket. He's ready to pull him out.
I don't know if I'd keep Johnny Depp in my back pocket anymore.
No, I wouldn't. He'd try to beat me. He'd abuse me.
I'd forget to clean my pockets. He's been through the wash a few times. We replaced him with 4 other actors. That's right. Yeah, it was kind of like.
They made it part of the. They did. Right. He was artistic with it.
Part of the narrative. Yeah.
Right. That I can understand something like that. Cool. But like in the case of, I was thinking the other day. The Simpsons hit 30 years, and I thought, man, that's what a run for anything. Like regardless of how you feel about the Simpsons, that's insane. And I got to thinking. You can have, the lady that played Mrs. Krabappel died, and that can happen, and you can deal with it on the show, and you can move on. But if Dan Castellaneta died, the voice of Homer, you're screwed.
What, Scott Johnson? Do you think there's only one person that can do Simpsons voices?
Hold on, you guys. Brian Ibbett, he's ready to step in any minute.
Well, I think we could probably find somebody to replace Dan Castellaneta. Dope.
I mean, there are probably good Homer impersonators out there. It's just,
I'm sure.
It wouldn't work.
It's probably easier with a situation like that, unless there's some contractual stipulation that says you can never have anybody else do the voice of this character. And I can't imagine any animation studio saying, yes, we'll sign that contract.
Yeah. I just wonder what it would do. Like do you remember what Phil Hartman's death did to news radio? It freaking killed it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And wasn't it during Futurama too?
Yes. No, it was during Simpsons, and he was Kent Brockman, but he was hired and was ready to play
Zapp Brannigan,
but he never did because he died the year before they went to air.
Okay, so it's just that character is so Phil Hartman, but I guess it was just inspired by Phil Hartman.
Yeah, it's Billy West in the end, but it's and you know what? I really like Billy West's take on it, but you could totally see Phil Hartman playing Zapp Brannigan. But anyway, like I don't know this stuff. So I don't know why that fascinates me.
Back to your original question, I mean, yeah, I'm sure that I don't know if you take out extra insurance. I think that as a rule, you take out insurance on anything happening to your major. Your lead actors and for just a protection reason, as opposed to even if their name's not in the title, I think you take
the precaution, the extra
precautions. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. This came up because Carter and I were talking about what if John J. Benjamin or whatever, is it John J. Benjamin?
Oh, H. John Benjamin from Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, if he died, what do you do with Bob's Burgers? And I think
there's a bunch of people who could do an H. John Benjamin impersonation.
It's actually not bad. It's not bad.
I think that with animation, it's a lot easier than it would be an actor. Like something happens to Finn Wolfhard while they're filming Ghostbusters, then they've got problems. Then they've got to reshoot everything. But if it's somebody who does a voice on an animated show, then you might be able to get by with finding somebody else. Well, like Daryl Hammond on SNL when Don Pardo was getting sick. He came in and actually did the Don Pardo voice for a while, and I think now he still doing it, but just is doing it as the the Daryl Hammond voice, or is there somebody else who's?
I didn't know he was doing it still at all. If he is he doing it?
I don't know who's doing. Is it okay? Rishi B says it's Don Pardo Jr.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a cool way to do that. It also, man, this actually happened to something. What was it? I mean, in the case of the Ghostbusters movie, if Finn Wolfdorf, what's his name? Grey Wolf? What is it?
Finn Wolfhard.
Wolfhard. If he just suddenly bails, okay, I don't want to say he dies. Too young to say that.
Sure.
But let's say he just bails. They should just bring an actual bird in, and he could play his part. It'll be fine. Just a little bird.
Just replace this. Just in, Finn Wolfhard replaced with actual bird.
With a real bird. We don't need to pretend like he's a bird. There's an actual bird.
Surprise! It took place before Stranger Things 3, and nobody noticed.
That was their highest grossing or highest viewed thing last year. Was season 3.
Did you see all the caveats that Netflix had with that?
No.
It was basically, all right, here are our most popular series of shows that premiered in 2019, of the most views of the first 2 minutes of any show that was less than 30 days old.
Oh, that's weird data. I mean, I like that they have data like that because it's interesting to me, but that doesn't count.
All you had to do was watch 2 minutes of something that came out that month, and it would be in the most watched, like it would get tracked for most watched, even if you said, I don't like this animated show talking about penises. I'm leaving.
Oh, that reminds me. Sorry. You like J.K. Simmons, right? You're a fan?
Love J.K. Simmons. And J.K. Rowling. I love all the J.K.s.
I know it may seem weird. I know it may seem weird to recommend this now that Christmas is over because you may not feel like watching it. Sure. But that Klaus movie...
Oh, I keep hearing good things about it.
Was amazing. First of all, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Instant classic. I hate that term, but that's totally what it is. And the guy who plays Klaus, who's basically Santa Claus, great big, white bearded guy, is J.K. Simmons, and he's great in it.
Oh.
Yeah, highly recommend it, Brian. There's my recommendal for the week.
All right, I'm gonna check it out. I'm not gonna tell you what. By the way, I love J.K. Grammer as well.
Oh yeah, J.K. Grammer. Yeah, duh.
J.K. Grammer.
Yeah.
We've been binging something, but I think I'm gonna save it and use it for my recommendal because it's a I'm gonna save it for next Wednesday's recommendal, and by that time we should have binged the entire available series.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. How many?
So I hate to pull a Johnson here, but
that's all right. How many seasons is it? Just curious.
2 seasons.
2 total seasons. Okay.
2 total seasons.
And that's all it ran, and it's over, or is it still going?
Nope, still going. There will be a season 3.
Okay.
And that's all I'm going to say.
Right. I'm going to guess.
You have a guess?
I'm going to try to guess in my own head. I won't say.
Okay.
But I can't think of it that way. There's a lot of stuff like that, so I don't know if I can do
And
it.
I'm not sure how I feel about it, because there's going to be a lot to unpack next week when I talk about it for recommendals.
Really?
Because there are aspects of it I really like,
Mm-hmm.
and then there are aspects of it that it's like, it seems a little out there, crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm really curious.
Yeah.
That's what a good Johnson poll does. It makes people curious.
Tune in 8 days for the answer to this question and more.
I'm saving mine from 2 weeks ago when you were sick, because it's still good and it's awesome.
Yeah,
It's a horror movie, and I'm keeping it until we do it.
Okay.
All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Bill will be here, I think. I haven't talked to Bill, so I don't know. Oh, you know what?
Oh.
I got a text. Let's see.
Bill.
Oh, yeah, no. He hasn't answered, or he hasn't said anything, so I think we're okay. Well, whatever. Okay. We'll try to call him. If he doesn't, that's fine. Yeah. But
then he's doing his New Year thing. He's building a firework prop.
Oh.
A champagne bottle prop.
Yeah, I would love him to go just very practical, not nerdy, just like, hey, here's a champagne bottle.
He's creating a new butter dispenser. Oh my gosh, look at the butter and the way the butter comes out. You just squeezed it. This is the best gadget ever.
This is the only gadget I use from now on. Gadget. All right. Well, we'll figure it out in a minute. But then Jury will be on, and we're going to do a thing that we haven't done before, which is warn people that we're going to go full-on spoilers to discuss Episode 9 of Star Wars, because we can't dance around it, and Jury has a lot to say. We have things to say as well. It's time for us to truly flay that thing open. Enough time has passed that we can really dive in. So we're going to do that after this break with a song from Brian. What do you have?
Yeah, so here's a band or a singer that we've played before, Gab de la Vega, maybe Gab de la Vega, but it's 4 words, all short ones, Gab de la Vega. He's got a brand new album coming out January 24th called Beyond Space and Time, and he's got a brand new single that we're sharing with you right now. It's called Perfect Texture. Big thanks to Earshot Media for supplying this one to me. Here is Gab de la Vega's new single, Perfect Texture.
All you beautiful women on TikTok, I'm still looking for me a TikTok woman. If there's any available, get back with me at so-and-so. You'll find me. Okay, bye, babies.
Wow, look at that. Look at this perfect sliced butter. Wow. That's so beautiful. Would you look at that?
Her name is the Morning Stream, and she dances on the sand.
Back, everybody. So beautiful.
Look at that slice of butter. It's beautiful, shiny, and making my skin greasy. It's very good butter, good gadget.
That guy is inspiring me to have a more positive 2020.
You know what? That's a really good point. No kidding.
Yeah.
That's
if he
that's
can
a
look
good
at
way to...
if he can look at butter stuff like that,
yeah,
I need to look at more things like that. And I think that's awesome. But it, like you said, what if it's all just a ruse? And then I'll be sad.
I totally believe that. I believe that he is A, that Russian, and B, that excited about gadgets.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what. I know he's got a YouTube channel, so there's plenty to see. I just need to go check it out.
It does. I watched him work a toothpick holder, a toothpick like a little bird that you dip down. He picks up a toothpick, and then you pull the toothpick out of his mouth.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And then he went crazy and tried it with colored toothpicks.
What?
And they worked as well.
Oh my gosh! How beautiful! What a great gadget!
It works with the colored toothpicks too. Oh my gosh!
All right, well, now that we've done that and we're back in the real world, here's another YouTuber you might be interested in.
Your bat cave's open there, Bill.
It's Bill Duran, all the way from punishedprops.com and the self-same channel on YouTube, Punished Props.
You know
Bill, welcome. How are you?
Good. I've met that guy.
Oh, no way.
Really?
Is he? So he's real. That's a real accent, and that's real dude.
It is.
Okay.
Absolutely, 100%. Very briefly, I met him at a convention. I went up to him and I said something like, "Hey, I love your channel. You've got really fun videos." And he looked at me and he said, "Cool." And he shook my hand and then he walked away. It was great. It was perfect. I couldn't have asked for anything more.
That's what you want out of that guy. I mean, the only other thing that would have been good is if you'd have told us that your hand was all buttery when you were done, like it got butter all over you. Because it's his butter stuff that really went viral this week, and people have been just nuts. I'd never even heard of him.
Oh wow! Yeah, he's a big deal.
Yeah, so I'm into it.
Right. He's on the gadgets. Was it GadgetCon?
No.
Did you met him at?
That'd be pretty great though.
That'd be great.
Yeah, you got to go to like Hall B has all the gadgets in them, Brian. That's where you go.
That's right, exactly.
Well, Bill, I hope you had a good Christmas, and I hope you're having a good New Year's week. We're excited to talk to you about whatever the crap you're working on right now. What's going on over there in Expanse Props land?
Well, I didn't do anything last week.
Oh, yeah. You take the week off. All right.
You got to take a week off every once in a while.
Sure.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. We took a week off for the holidays, and we were absolute slugs the whole time, played video games. It was great.
Yeah.
But gave me a lot of time to reflect on the last year, and I have some fun things to talk about.
Okay. I'm in.
So, in 2019, I made a lot of things. I finished something close to 30 projects last year. In fact, I keep a list of every project I've finished since I got into prop making. All right. So the first thing on this list is September 7th, 2009 Team Fortress costume. That was when this list started.
Okay.
And there are now 200 things on that list.
Jeez. 200 even?
Wow.
Like right at 200.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, really?
Right on. Lightsabers were number 200. And I want to be clear that each project counts as one. So I did a Kickstarter gun back in 2013, and I had to mold and then cast 130 copies of that. That only counts as one project.
Right.
I just want to be clear.
Oh yeah. For anyone who thinks he's cheating with that gun Kickstarter, that's not happening here. Sure.
I have made way more than 200 things, but I've completed 200 projects.
Wow.
So we go down this list.
Right. How many you started?
Yeah, I've started a lot more than 200. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
We got June 11th, 2011, Warglaive of Azeroth. That I brought to Nerdtacular 2011.
I know I held it. I don't know if there's a picture of me holding it, but I know there's a great picture of Veronica Belmont holding that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've got a picture of me holding it, her holding it. I think there's one of Ibit holding it. I gotta go through those photos. I got some great pictures of that thing. It was great.
Oh yeah. If we go to the next year, I made a shot ski. I don't know if you guys remember the shot ski I made.
Yeah, well, I think that got brought to Nerdtacular as well, and it was a big hit in the Tad House.
It was. That's right.
Yes, right.
Oh yeah. Now I remember that. Yeah.
That was
for those not in the know, that is a ski with a bunch of shot glasses glued to it. Yeah. Everyone has to drink at the same time.
Yeah.
Mine had magnets.
Oh, really? So they were removable. Oh
yeah. It was a high-tech shot ski. That was project number 33. For keeping track.
I have pictures of that as well somewhere of you there even drinking it. I think.
Probably.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
So anyway, I made many things last year, and I just completed project number 29. Now, some of those projects last year were large undertakings. I made the Fat Man. I did those lightsabers from scratch. I made a full costume. Some of them were a little bit simpler. I did some repaints, like I painted a kit, Mayor's Razor. So I don't know why you guys thinking I made a whole bunch of things from scratch, but I did make a lot of things from scratch.
Yeah, you've been a busy little boy. I mean, also, if you look at the number 30 things, those are all projects that take like in some cases weeks, other days, multiple days, like planning, like forethought and all this and mistakes, throw it away, start over. Like those are all that's a major accomplishment. That's more. I mean, that's a really high average. Do you ever hope you get and do you ever want to have 52 for the full year, like one per week, or is that just too crazy? Okay.
Sounds awful.
No, but that'd be a great Patreon level, and you could do a dumb thing I 3D printed a ball and I painted it red for week number 7.
That's what it would turn into, I think.
Yeah.
Your red ball.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Have you ever? I was curious because I did over the kind of Christmas quote unquote break. I painted a MODOK miniature for Marvel Crisis Protocol. Have you ever done miniatures, or do you just kind of larger things is more your?
Yeah, I've never done like D&D mini. Well, no, that's not true. I did have my own D&D mini. I've painted a couple.
I'd be curious to see. Yeah, I mean, because a lot of your techniques, the over painting and washes and things like that.
It's been about 10 years.
Yeah,
I'm a lot better at painting now.
I'm sure, and I imagine that stuff translates really well to whatever size stuff you paint. So I imagine you'd be really good at stuff like that.
Yeah. Actually, on the flip side, my friend Jazza did a video where he 3D modeled a D&D mini size, and then he blew it up to be about a foot tall, and then painted it. That was kind of fun.
That's cool. Oh my god, I'd love to do this MODOK like.
That'd be really awesome.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's great.
So yeah, made a lot of things in 2019. It was also a fairly challenging year for us. We were putting out a video every week, and that had to come to an end because it was too much.
Sure.
We just keeping up with the business is really difficult. One of the main things for us though is just there are lots of things that we want to do. We just don't have enough time to do all of them. So I've been working really hard to get a book done, and it is so nearly done. And I wanted it to be done last year, but it's not.
Hey, you're like a video game company. We want you to polish it and make it right before you release it.
It's gonna be really good. I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
I just need to carve out another month to finish it.
Yeah.
And that's just a challenge. It's a challenge of making this whole thing work.
I could use a 13th month.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I say that, but then I'd probably squander it and average it all out over the top of it.
Wouldn't it be great if we had a 13th month where there was no mortgage, no car insurance payments, no basically it's your free parking on Monopoly.
Yes, no responsibilities.
Man.
You can basically use it for mental health month and do whatever you need to do and not incur any expenses that month.
I love
Twitter
that idea.
stops working that month.
Oh my god, yeah, Twitter, Facebook, everything.
Yeah.
And then you come back from it, hey, here's what I did during my 13th month.
Yeah, and then we all just catch up.
I should just go live in a cave for January, just all of January.
I love it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, let's just take one of our existing months and make it this.
Yeah, and so I can get some real work done.
Yeah.
I feel bad for a lot of our mutual friends are all heading straight to freaking CES immediately.
Oh no!
And that sounds awful right now. I don't want to go there.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I'm going to go to Vegas, but I'm going to March, but I don't want to go now. I don't want to be there in that rat race and deal with that mess.
No.
Ugh. Well,
anyway, 2020, we're actually aiming to do fewer projects. One per month is the goal. We'll see how we do.
All right. Yeah. No, I think that to me seems sane. What you were doing before seems like, I don't know. I've been through this a little bit from a different kind of content perspective, but a similar kind of coming to Jesus moment where I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta trim this hair, or else I'm gonna go nuts.
Well, the reality of what happened with what we make over the last year is we pushed ourselves to get better. We are a lot more thoughtful about how we film our videos, about how we put them together, and they're longer. They're 45 minutes long or more, and they take a lot longer to edit. So it just all of that adds up to everything taking a lot more time, having to be a lot more thoughtful with how we do. We can't rush into projects anymore. We have to write an outline first. We have to make sure everything's correct before we get started so that we can accomplish what we're trying to do. And it just makes everything take so long.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Draws it out. I get you, dude. Pacing, they call it. Cadence. That's what you got to work on. Your cadence. Well, I believe 2020 will be a wonderful year for the Punished Props crew, and I'm excited to see what you guys pump out. Yeah. Do you know what your very first major cool month project is for January?
Well, I've already started something.
Yeah.
I'm doing a kit. I'm painting a kit that my friend made.
Okay.
It's a prop from a movie. That's all I'm gonna.
Oh.
That's all I'm gonna sneak out there.
All right.
Our patrons, people in our extra credit club, got a sneak peek. But
Okay.
that's all I'm gonna let out right now.
It's the Bullet Farmer's car from Mad Max Fury
Oh
Road.
my god, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it would be. It would.
That
be.
would take more than a month, I think.
That's true. As long as it's not the Gastown guy with the nipples and the 2 rings hooked together through the suit that he's wearing and the club feet. Yeah, that guy's got problems.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Note to self: cancel that costume.
It's good stuff. All right. Any the bonus content from you today? Anything you want to?
Absolutely. I got a good one here from our friends over at Tested and Adam Savage. Look up The Expanse on YouTube. The Expanse Props. They did a video with the prop master from The Expanse.
Oh, he's got the little display pad things, the little
Yes.
transparent pads.
You're gonna love how they accomplish those. It's really clever and extraordinarily simple. And what I love about this is they show how a full-on studio production uses off-the-shelf stuff to solve these problems, and they make really convincing sci-fi looking things with just like hunks of acrylic and off-the-shelf snap bracelet LEDs. It's bonkers, and I just love getting that perspective from people who do it for a living.
I love that about it's what as a kid, even, because you could tell that like what things in Star Wars were practical items, mashed together to make something. Lightsabers looked an awful lot like repurposed flashlights and pipes and stuff like that. I love that. Like that to me is my favorite of practical effects are the ones where something's vaguely from a real life thing, but just different enough to give it fantasy. I love that sort of thing. So that's cool. I have to watch this.
This is great. Like they've got the gravity boots. Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Brian's right in the middle. You're right in the middle of watching that right now.
I'm nipple deep in season 2. So.
Whoa. So all the way up to your knee, then? Just kidding. Brian doesn't have a nipple knee.
Hey-oh.
He doesn't have a knee nipple.
A quick example. I did this. Helped my friends with their short film called Proximity, where we had these ankle cuffs that had 3 lights on them. Right. Mm-hmm. I just put colored squares in them, and then in post they VFX lights on them, right?
Yeah.
I got people tweeting me asking me how I put LEDs in there, and I was like, it was foam, man. VFX guy just chucked some glow on that and it looked perfect.
Huh.
It was so simple. Yeah.
Wow. I love that.
So much you can accomplish.
That stuff's really cool.
That's cool.
The Tested channels where you'll get this and lots of good stuff there in general. And, of course, punishprops.com will take you right to the Punish Props channel. Look forward to whatever it is we see from this mystery movie in January. Very exciting. Bill Duran, we wish you nothing but the best of 2020s.
Yeah.
Take it easy, guys.
Hope your 2020 is as good as your 2019 and even better.
I hope you have 2020 vision. Bye. All right. There you go. That was great. Good to catch up with Bill.
For sure.
Missed him last week. Right? Yeah.
We did.
I'm trying to remember what we did last week.
I think we were here Tuesday. I was out sick Monday and Wednesday. Oh, no. Yeah, of course we missed him last week. It was
it's Christmas Eve. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we totally missed him. All right. Everybody buckle in because we're doing this now.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
Joining us right now is Mr. Justin Robert Young from Oakland, California, and the entire United States is his domain as far as I'm concerned. He's joining us today, as he does often on Tuesdays. Happy New Year's Eve, Justin.
Oh, well, good to be here, friend.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. So excited to have Justin.
Why are you guys posting Billie Eilish pictures in the Discord chat?
Oh, it's a long story.
We're talking about how Billie Eilish's brother's girlfriend looks a lot like Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Like
that's all.
The girl to the left of Billie Eilish is Billie Eilish's brother's girlfriend.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you ain't wrong.
Well, that was the whole thing, is that her brother, who she collaborates with, and he does a bunch of stuff, has a girlfriend that looks exactly like his sister, we're not making any judgment. We were just like, hey, look at that. They look familiar, those two ladies. Anyway.
I mean, that's kind of weird, though, when, like, the younger sister is kind of like she's very popular, which means she's kind of a fashion icon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
right.
the older sister's like, oh, okay, if I'm just like any other youthful person that wants to follow the fashion trends, then I don't know, what are you wearing? That?
That.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
Can I borrow it tomorrow?
Yeah. I'm going to start wearing, I'm feeling the push to be more Billie Eilish in my clothes. So I'm going to start wearing a 6X t-shirt and a pair of fish waders. So
I think it's stunningly brave that you would deny the hungry, horny media look at your figure by wearing such baggy clothes.
Yeah, that's my understanding is that's her whole thing, right? She says.
I think no, and that's I think it's a moment. It's a moment with the youth of like rejection of mass media, which I don't
know. I kind of like that.
That happens.
Yeah, I kind of like it. It's that's the bend in the cycle we're in right now, and it's fun to watch happen again. It always happens. It all comes around.
I'm sure everybody will be all hoed out in the next 10 years, but for now, Billie Eilish wears the trash bag from Missy Elliott's video.
That's a good combo. All right.
Zip, zip, zip.
Yeah.
I can't think of how that song went.
I can't either. But that was a pretty good.
But it was backwards. That's what I'm trying to
That's the
get
important
at.
part.
Backwards.
Yeah, you did a good job. All right. Hey, Justin, we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to tell the people at home and listening live, if you don't want to hear possible...
Hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah.
First things first, go download the latest Raise the Dead. It's my favorite podcast that I've ever done. It's called Episode 5, Campaigns Aren't Won. It's the most history that I ever put into one episode of this, and it's the best produced thing that I did. So go get it right now. I'm very proud of it, and I'm curious to hear what other people think.
It's very good. Go get it. If you haven't listened, catch up on the whole thing. It's extremely good. There are the total episodes are 6. You got one more to
Yeah,
go?
this is 5, 6 next week, and then and then I got an idea. I'm actually doing research for the next series. Right now.
Ooh, can't wait to find out what that is. Oh, hello. Sorry, Nick, you scared me. All right. So, did you hear? Sorry, one tiny political thing. It's not even that political.
Yeah.
Ivanka Trump.
Yes.
Daughter of President Donald J. Trump.
Oh, that Trump family.
That one. Okay,
gotcha.
sure.
Yeah, just to make it clear, is the keynote speaker at CES this year, and I don't know why. And I don't even care that if someone could just say to me, oh, no, it's because she did this initiative or has this thing with tech or whatever, fine. But I can't for the life of me figure out why she's doing it. Why wouldn't you have Bill Gates or somebody?
Who was the keynote speaker last year?
I don't know.
Nobody cares. Moving on. Why? Why do we care?
I guess we don't care.
When is this? Like, why is this any different than Ivanka Trump went to go get a Popeye's chicken sandwich? Like, it's just a thing that a bunch of other people that we don't know and can't remember did.
That's a good point. I take your point. I just am trying to understand what the qualifications are, because normally the people that get up and do it have something to do with the tech industry. It's Bill Gates this year.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know what her qualifications are?
Yeah.
Were you going to mention CES today if she were not the keynote speaker?
No.
Oh, there you go.
Then she did her job.
Plus, I hear her family is really good at the cyber.
Yeah. I mean, she's got the little techno wizard for a little brother. So
okay, but
cyber wizard Baron.
Yeah, but what if what if it was like I can't think of another example. I don't like it when just notoriety gives you the qualification. I hate that.
DJ Khaled is the keynote speaker at
I think they've had some of that.
PAX.
I think there was I can't remember. I'm gonna say Chamillionaire, but I'm not sure.
Was that a person?
He was. Yeah, he's a rapper. Riding Dirty.
Oh,
yeah.
Riding Dirty. I know that song. Okay, yeah.
Trying to catch him riding dirty. Although I think they were trying to catch him doing a CES keynote, and I think Will.i.am maybe did one. They've always been kind of star effers. Look, they're there. It's in Vegas. I mean, like, is this a hollowed position so we can find out that now a new television has a ripple in it? Like,
and taking the stage now to talk about the future of technology and e-commerce, it's Pitbull.
Yeah, Pitbull.
Yeah.
Get in here, Pitbull.
Look, yeah, Rishi B says the Huawei dude did it in 2018, and now he probably couldn't even get a passport, which is
Right.
Or a passport. Wasn't he the guy that got detained? He's in Canada now or something? Oh, no, that was a lady. She was the CFO. Or...
She was but she was like the daughter of like the head. Like that's a, you know, you got to wonder whether or not she's gonna get a ride home after they sign that China deal.
I don't know. All right. Well, anyway, you're right. It doesn't matter. It's just it annoyed me, and now
because you for whatever reason, like that is just a lever that you keep wanting to hit. It's just being upset about the Trump family, and you just will not stop going for those pellets. And the Trump family is very happy to oblige you.
No, they're happy to give me the
keep giving
pellets.
you
I know
things.
that.
Yeah.
I know that. Here's the thing, though. If this would have been one of the drunk Bush girls or Obama's daughters or anyone else, I don't care who it is. That would annoy me no matter who it did it. Because they don't.
Drunk Bush girls?
Yeah, the two Bush girls that got partied all the time.
Yes, I know. Yes, they got drunk when they were 19.
But that's how I think of them because that's all we ever heard about them.
I know. No, one of them's on the Today Show.
No, I know
the
now.
The fourth hour with Hoda.
No, I know now that she is because I heard that recently. In fact, I don't watch the Today Show, so Brian had to tell me. But
I mean, like, what if whenever anybody mentioned you, they're like, oh, you know, noted pina colada drinker Scott Johnson.
Accidental
Pina
alcoholic.
colada enthusiast Scott Johnson.
I do like one. It was very good. All right.
I don't always have a pina colada, but when I do, I have them with alcohol down in Mexico.
I accidentally drink an alcoholic one.
All right. Now we may get into spoiler territory, okay? So everybody just, if you're not into it, you don't have to listen. It's a Star Wars related. We're going to talk about episode 9, not necessarily just to pull out story points that are spoilery, but to discuss the movie in general, and spoiler points may come out. So just know that, and catch up with us later when you want to hear this stuff. If you have already seen the movie, then please stick around because we got to talk about it. Let me set up the scenario for you. When Brian got back from seeing it, who was the first of us to have seen it, he really liked it. Put it in second place behind Empire? I think you said at the time.
No. I definitely still think I like Last Jedi and the original more than Rise of Skywalker. It's probably 4th or 5th on my list.
Okay, 4th or 5th. I misunderstood. I must have been thinking of Last Jedi. So, all right. So,
no, but I did enjoy it more than I believe more than you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I liked it. I liked it from a, hey, I'm here eating popcorn, and this is a theater, and check out us. We're all here, and this is fun kind of standpoint. But I feel like I said specifically when I got out of that, I'm like, oh, either The Mandalorian has ruined me, or this is just, this is and has always been a little on the tripey side, but also I had a lot of fun. I don't regret my going. I don't, whatever. Justin saw it and had real fundamental issues with it, and so I thought it'd be fun for us to discuss some of those issues. Why do you think because you think it's a bad movie, right?
So you say it's not just a bad movie, but it's even a bad Star Wars movie.
It's just a bad thing, right?
Yeah, no, all of the above. Yeah, we could probably keep going too. Yeah.
All right.
It's a bad way to spend 2 hours. It's a bad.
It's bad spending. It's a bad $14 spent.
A bad is certainly a word that it can be described as. I would sum the entire film up as what? Because for the majority of the movie, I found myself looking at the screen from the very first words of the opening crawl saying,
"The dead speak."
Okay. I guess. Oh, so we're just introducing off screen the fact that Emperor Palpatine's alive. No real explanation. Okay. Oh, he lives on a lightning cube planet. Oh, look at that. Never mentioned before.
Had you seen the trailers at all before? Because I just realized something, and I think you've inspired me to think this way. If I hadn't have seen the trailers, I wouldn't have known about the Palpatine hint, and I would have read that scrawl of text a little differently. Had I skipped all trailers, I would have read that and gone, what? What are you even talking about? Because the last film had no reference to it.
Well, no, of course not. No other film since Return of the Jedi had mention of.
It's almost as if they were just making
the prequels
stuff
had
up.
it, obviously, but
yeah.
I mean, almost as if they were just making stuff up as they went along. I'm starting to think.
You think so, do you?
This whole like big overarching plan thing, I'm not sure. That they, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I just, maybe it's a disturbance in the Force, which.
Could be.
I mean, now that we can do so many different things with it, it's an ever expanding Swiss Army knife. The Force is.
All right. Well,
I wouldn't be shocked if they kept that trilogy or they kept those movies going. Finn is just like, oh, I'm Force sensitive. Oh, look, I did my taxes early.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a thing that the Force can do.
Let me ask you this. Okay.
H&R Block.
Stop right there. Do you think so there is this hint that Finn might be Force sensitive in the movie?
I don't think it's a hint. I think he's just flat out, they said it, and it was going to be the thing that he was going to say to Rey.
According to the creators, that's what he was going to say. You wouldn't really get that sense in the movie. In fact, by all the social cues of the movie, it seems like he's trying to confess his love for Rey. I don't know why that would be a secret he would want to keep.
Yeah.
You don't want Rose to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't worry. he's pretty far away from her the entire time. You don't really have to worry about Rose doing much anything except for maybe ordering some crispy rib tips at the Rainforest Cafe she hangs out with at the entire movie.
So all right. So I'm annoyed if that's true, because it wasn't clear to me that he was saying he was Force sensitive when he just said, I just know.
That's what I suspected. I wouldn't say the whole time, because at the very first time when they're sinking in the quicksand, I thought it was, oh, maybe he's going to confess his love to her. That's kind of a weird time to do that. But then after the second or third time it comes up and he says, oh, no, everything's going on that ship right there, then I'm like, okay, that's the Force sensitivity, and he wants to just basically say, hey, Rey, how did you know that you were Force sensitive or Force compatible?
And here's the thing.
But no, he wants to tell her something. Also, by the way, if he was so keen in the Force being able to tell which ship things were on, shouldn't he be able to tell which of the two transports that were taking off without anything else but desert around it contained Chewbacca? Wouldn't that be something that maybe the Force could help out with?
You think if he could, then Rey certainly should have been able to, and
she was too busy stopping a ship in mid-air, which is yet another thing the Force can do now.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, you can just stop a ship and not even like really feel like it's that big of a thing. You can just kind of put up your arm like you're hailing a cab.
Now, to some people's credit, we've seen them do this in Star Wars video games, but I think the film made a leap that a lot of people have never seen. Like, that was a moment of like, oh, wow. She can stop a ship. That's a whole new level. But
I think and my interpretation of that is that they're trying to say, well, and again, I could be wrong. They're trying to say that Rey is probably one of the most powerful Jedi that we've seen in the 9 films. Like, even more powerful than Luke. This is something that she's able to do that maybe Luke wouldn't have been able to do.
Yeah, clearly, I think that's what they're going for. But back to this Rey thing. I do have a comment about him being Force sensitive. Fine, I get it. He's Leia level. He's Leia in Empire, end of Empire level sensitive, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say that's the case. Sure. He's like, oh, okay, I can feel a thing
on the spectrum. Yeah,
but to what end? To what end? That's where my big hangup comes from. Because if he is, it can't just be that he wants to tell her. He never does tell her anything, and so that never gets resolved. But we're done. There's no 3 more movies with Finn in them. There's no more Finn. Mm-hmm. It's the end of the story. It's the end of this trilogy. It's the end of the Skywalker saga. They've said as much.
That's it. We're done.
Right. Yeah, and because of that,
he gets to use the Force in a way that doesn't affect the plot at all, and do the most epic friend zoning in the history. Remember when Rose almost committed suicide to save him
on Crate?
Yeah. And then then he hits her with a little like, hey, buddy, I'm glad I got a good friend like you. Anyway, see you later.
I mean, I'm just saying, you're not wrong in a lot of your, I think all of you.
I mean,
Actually,
like, honestly, like I was literally at the point that Emperor Palpatine did the monster mash and raised his 100 billion ships from the swamp. I was like, okay, I just don't even know what's happening. Like, I don't know what this movie is. I don't know why we're here. What's like, what the point of it is. Nothing that had built up to this point really seemed to matter anymore. We were just in this one different movie where Emperor Palpatine is here, and boy, does he have a plan I can't understand.
yeah.
Let me ask you this, Brian. Do you explain to me Emperor Palpatine's plan?
Rule the galaxy. Yeah, pretty much
All
just
right.
that.
So, but how? How is he gonna? Because he's living on Lightning Swamp. And
He's gonna suck up all the Jedi and all the Sith goodness from Kylo
And then is he just gonna sit on Lightning? So is he gonna tax the galaxy? Does he want to get back into government?
Well,
like, because he just seems to
thinking about running for office again.
Number one, I want to say this because I'll repeat it a million times because I find it to be the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. But
yeah,
Schwood and I were talking after the movie, and he said that the opening words of the crawl should have been, "Bill O'Reilly has a podcast."
That would have been great. Or some other.
It's just the funniest thing I've ever heard, and so I want to repeat it as much as possible.
It's pretty good.
It's very funny to me. But so he's gonna. All right. So number one, the plan we found out has been unfolding in front of our very eyes. The Emperor has been controlling Ben Solo, now Kylo Ren. I guess since he was a boy, he decides that he's gonna give it a little bit more of a personal touch by creating the avatar that every young boy wants to be around, a horribly disfigured lizard monster.
Wrinkly old prune man.
Yeah, in lame pajamas, which is, of course, every child's dream to hang out with. Then decides that he's going to push Kylo to try and kill his granddaughter, knowing that he's not going to kill his granddaughter, and then try to kill his granddaughter again, but then connect them with the Force telepathy that we see in The Last Jedi. But that can't be something that Palpatine's doing, because we see them do that a lot in Rise of Skywalker to their own ends. So theoretically, Palpatine isn't doing that. And so then he tells Kylo to kill Rey or bring her there, but really his big plan is to have Rey kill him. Wait, no, it's to have him get both of them together so he can reveal that he is indeed not a Sith, but rather a Dementor from Azkaban, and he will suck their life force from them.
Inhale the midichlorians right out of their bodies.
Yeah, and become the most powerful Dementor that the wizarding world has ever seen, while a arena full of Sith stands cheer their hero on.
Yeah, Sith. They were. I don't know what those dudes were, but they were fans of the. They were in the. They were in the arena for a reason. They were stoked to watch their 40K looking ass leader come down on a giant robot claw and do his work. I mean, honestly, that's what I enjoyed about the last part of the movie was the visual of all of it.
Rusty Nails says, did Jerry miss the part where he's going to take over Rey's body? Yes, but if he's been directing Kylo the entire time, why does Kylo keep trying to kill her?
Yeah.
If that's the point, if the point is to get Rey there. And look, I'm not, like, the movie is the movie. I accept the idea that the movie just has no connection to The Last Jedi or The Force Awakens, for that matter. It is just its own thing, and that's why, to be totally honest, like, I can't really hate the movie. Like, I'm very confused by the movie. I think the movie's incoherent, but I can't really hate it because it doesn't really. It is so far separated from anything else that I've ever liked in Star Wars that it just feels like this bizarre jumble of thing. And to be honest, I think it's kind of funny more than I think it's offensive. Like it kind of reminds me a lot of Batman versus Superman, which was also written by the same person, which I also just found so laughably weird and bad that I kind of wound up liking it. And maybe one day I'll learn to love the idea that they had to dress up Felicity like the Rocketeer to distract from the gay heat being generated by the two male leads.
Yeah, that's the other thing. What they
introduced Carrie Russell. You're just going to use her eyes?
Yeah, but they introduced that character, and they just there's no development there. There was nothing.
No, it wasn't enough to call it a character building because you get enough to make you curious about, but not like, oh my God, there's a character I want to know more about. Yeah. It's like, yeah, there's a character.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with any of these points. I think Jury's kind of onto it. I wish that I had fun, but again, I think it's the bombasticness. It's even some of the mess. It's also so many callbacks. It's like, hey, remember Return of the Jedi? Check this out. Palpatine, last minute turns who you thought was your loyal dude now is going to help beat you and throw you down a pit virtually. And guess what else? You're going to lay there and look up into the sky and he's going to say, your friends are dying, just like he told Luke that through the window of the ship.
A ground attack that makes it so that the air attack can succeed.
Yes.
And you have to complete the ground attack to make the air attack work.
Exactly. Like all of that stuff. And then Lando showing up at the right moment to go, woohoo! And, like they repeated that so much at the end of that movie that I think I got a little caught up in it. And it wasn't until later that I went, they're kind of jerking me around in there a little bit.
Right.
Like they're just kind of playing with the fan service. And I've come to a conclusion that I believe very strongly. I think that in 25 years, if we care at all about Star Wars anymore in 25 years, we're going to look back on this trilogy and we're going to think fondly of that middle one. And we're going to be annoyed with the first and third. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The middle one is going to stand the test of time more than the other two. And people are going to give it more respect down the road than they do now. And there are plenty of people who say I'm full of it.
I don't even want to get into like the weirdest thing about this movie is that it's so incoherent that most of the most passionate fighting online are people still fighting about The Last Jedi. And I think part of that is because it is a competently made movie that makes decisions that I think really annoy a lot of people. I will contend that the highest point of this sequel trilogy is the stuff between Rey and Kylo and Luke to a certain extent in The Last Jedi. I don't think that there's anything better than that. I rewatched The Last Jedi. I don't know how much I'm willing to stand for the Poe plotline or the Finn and Rose plotline, which is 2/3 the movie. So, I think I've kind of revised how much I like it. But at the end of the day, the stuff that felt to me like really exciting, fun Star Wars was, really, it's that throne scene. And everything that leads up to it. Like that to me felt like fresh, exciting, rad. The light and the dark, legacy versus the future, kind of Star Wars stuff. Beyond that, I think Force Awakens is always going to be a fun movie. I mean, obviously, it's a little bit of a retrograde, and it gave us the hint. Maybe the weird Sith knife that could lead us to a weird glowing pyramid.
But only as long as you're standing in the exact right spot when you pull out the little map chunk.
Yeah.
Little map pull-out tab.
Yeah. That we would eventually get to Rise of Skywalker, which would only be callbacks to other older things. Although why does the Emperor keep trying to hit people with that lightning? I mean, it's never, if he was able to foresee everything that he has foreseen, maybe foresee putting your hands in your pockets, Sheev.
Yeah.
You don't, like every time you try to hit these people with the lightning, you always get scarred in the face or horribly disfigured.
Yeah.
It's although I like him. I really like Ian McDermott. I don't know why he's in this movie, but I really like him, and I if there's one thing that's great about this movie coming out is everybody doing Emperor impressions, which is just very delightful to me.
Yeah, no, that guy's cool. Like, he has I was excited to see what they were going to do with him. I like his like stumpy, nasty fingers where this looks like he's just falling apart. The lighting was cool. They figured out a way to make him look sinister all these years later. Like those are the things I got excited about. And I am a Warhammer 40K fan, so all of that tech priest looking stuff on that planet vibes with me big time visually. So like the effects and the visual production that was going on there won me over in the moment. But then you start thinking and you go, oh, yeah. There's problems with this.
Yeah, a friend of mine played trivia with on Sunday night said, and what about the Knights of Ren 2.0? He said he saw somewhere online somebody said that they were basically a Slipknot version of a boy band that was as ineffective at taking out Kylo Ren as...
Yeah, for real. So I don't know what else there is to say about this thing except I'm more excited about the future of television and Star Wars and long form than I am any more movies. I think
I don't think it's the fault of the movies. It's a fault of the leadership and to that I think my instinct would be to blame Kathleen Kennedy, but I don't know for sure because obviously the Disney Corporation is a large structure. But look, how many directors have been fired from that? From Star Wars movies? How many times have we seen very, very plainly projects being pulled between two creative forces? And those are the ones that we know about because from hearing behind the scenes on stuff, and even the movies that we love that seem to be peaceful, harmonious projects, there's a lot of pushing and pulling behind the scenes. There's a lot of studios wanting certain things and wanting scripts rewritten and wanting certain things in or out of it. It seems like there's a lot of that with Disney. There's a lot of that with Star Wars. And I think that they've led to all of the movies that have come out being in one way or another disjointed messes. So my problem is less with the format, although I would totally agree with you that although there are elements of The Mandalorian that I can take or leave, by and large, it's great. It's the first time that I've watched something and I've seen Star Wars and been like, oh my God, this feels like Star Wars. That second episode of The Mandalorian is maybe my favorite Star Wars thing since I watched the original trilogy.
Yeah, I agree.
It just felt so fun and awesome and cool and big, even while telling a small story. So I think that there's definitely a future for the movies. I just really hope that they look across the hall and understand that, Marvel's no accident. They have an idea of what they're going to do. They got an idea of how they're going to polish up these scripts. And yes, to a certain extent, you can say that they're samey, or you can say that some of the movies are better or worse than the other ones, but they're never insulting.
Yeah.
And that's where I think when you get so disjointed in the creation of these movies, that's where I think if there's an element of righteous indignation, that's where that comes in, is that you're asking me to pay attention to all these things, and then you're just sort of hand waving them away, whenever it's kind of convenient for the writers. And at that point, it's like, well, then why do I care?
Yeah.
Like, why am I going to this opening night? I went to go see that movie midnight. I'm old as dog poop these days, man. I go to sleep at 10. I went to a midnight movie like I would when I was 18, right?
Yeah.
And I watched that and I was just like, I just kind of felt like an idiot. It kind of felt stupid.
I kind of love that. So yeah, the look across the hall thing is the one thing I wanted to make sure to reemphasize. If they one of the things I think this trilogy did poorly was deal with multiple character arcs at the same time, satisfying ways, and doing it simultaneously and having it come to a good end. if you just look across the hall, the prime example of modern filmmaking where they took this kind of pop level stuff and took a ton of character arcs and made it work. Look no further than the last two Avengers films. Those two movies proved all the way up through Endgame that you can do that with tons of people. It's not even just like not nearly as many people in Star Wars as they're trying to track in those
Avengers,
movies. And they did it. And it wasn't because they're comic book heroes. It wasn't because of any other reason. They did it because the writing is really tight, really smart. They respect the characters, and they followed through, and they freaking stuck the landing. So do that. Just go over there.
And look, Endgame is a very self-indulgent movie.
Sure.
I rewatched it on a flight a couple weeks ago, but goddamn, is it like emotionally satisfying? And also, the end of The Last Jedi, one of the lines that I liked the most, some people found it a little hammy, but I liked it, was the Rose to Finn before Rose put in her reservation at the Rainforest Cafe. She's like, all right, just give me a table for two, but only one seat, because don't worry, Princess Leia is going to be standing in the exact same position the entire movie. That she tells Finn, we're not going to win killing the people we hate. We're going to survive saving the people we love. And then I watch Endgame, and that's literally the theme of the movie, but they show and they don't tell. They made an entire 2.5 hour movie out of the fact that, like, they go and they literally kill the bad guy in the first 15 minutes, and that brings nothing but emptiness and sadness. It's not until they save the people that they lost that they are really made whole, and that's an amazing it's part of the reason why that movie and that franchise is what it is, and Star Wars is just this kind of befuddled mess.
Yeah.
Do you think that it suffered from having different directors, a different director for the middle film? Like, say, all the bad things that came with the prequels, at least that did feel like a story from start to finish. And Last Jedi feels like such a different movie than Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker. It didn't feel like, and well, speaking to your point, it didn't feel like it was a cohesive trilogy as much as it certainly wasn't even a cohesive final film.
I mean, I wouldn't lay that on, because I would say that the original trilogy was 3 different directors and they somehow made it work. So
that's true. Yeah. Right.
So
I mean, it was 4, I guess, 3, because Trevorrow got fired. Add him to the grist mill. Look, the original trilogy was 3 different directors.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So the difference is that George Lucas, with a better writer, wrote the scripts. Like, it was George Lucas's big mythological ideas that we saw unfettered in the prequels, along with some help. And if you follow the creation of the original Star Wars, a lot of help, like in the edit and stuff like that. But I think the bigger thing here is that, it would have been better if there was one big cohesive idea. Because ultimately, what's anybody's arc? Like, aside from Kylo's arc being, I'm evil, so evil I killed my father in cold blood, and then I get redeemed at the end for 5 seconds before dying and then fading into oblivion. By the way, a moment that was laughed at by my audience. Midnight on opening night, half the crowd in costume laughed at
when he went poof.
Moment of the emotional moment at the end.
We got laughs too in our theater. That's funny. And ours was ours was a rented theater. And what's funny is I think what made everybody laugh in ours, it was, oh no, Rey is dead. Okay, he's gonna bring her back. Okay, now she's back. Oh no, he's dead. Like, it was just like,
and could she have kissed him really quick, and they could have just kept passing life back and forth?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Yeah, it was a dumb moment.
It was nice that Luke got to show Leia where he grew up, and that they'd gotten rid of the crusty bodies of Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen.
Why would they go back there? What's the point of going like, oh, let me remember this time that I hated my childhood, and then when I left, I found my uncle and aunt's charred bodies outside. Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe Leia would like it there. Oh no, you mean the place where she was enslaved by a slug monster?
Oh, that's right. I forgot she did spend some time. She had a bad time on Tatooine. Right, I forgot about that.
Turns out Tatooine sucks ass, and no one should ever visit there.
Yeah, it's a dump. But why is she buried? Like, I still don't understand why why bury the lightsabers there? Is that just
the final fu to Anakin?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess
buried his lightsaber in sand. It's coarse and it gets.
I didn't even think about that.
Oh, that's great.
Sand, do you? Guess where I'm gonna put your lightsaber.
Oh, go get it, Force Ghost. Why don't you sand it up, Sandy?
Also, how come the Force Ghosts are so selective about when they show up? Like, couldn't we have seen? There should have been a whole throng of them at the end of the Skywalker trilogy.
Right.
Should have been like old man, the Obi-Wan back there,
Yoda.
Yeah, everybody.
This kind of gets into a larger issue that I have with Star Wars, and really, this isn't unique to Star Wars, although I think they're the vanguard of it. It's the fetishization of the iconography. So it's like there's nothing that typifies it better than the robes, right? The first Jedi that we see is Obi-Wan, and he's living as a hermit on a desert planet, and he's wearing these robes. So by the time the prequels roll around, and we see a bunch of Jedis, what are they doing? They're wearing a bunch of peasant robes like you would see on Tatooine if you were living as a hermit. And the only reason why you do that is because that's the only other Jedi we've seen.
Right.
And that's a way that you could visually cue to the audience, like, oh, look, we know they're Jedi because they're wearing these desert robes, right?
Right.
Despite the fact that it makes absolutely no sense. And so what this trilogy really is guilty of is that we are here for the moments. We're here for the iconography. We're here for the moment where the audience goes, woo, more than we are for building it up. And the Force Ghosts are a huge part of this because in the original trilogy, they're very sporadic and like they kind of show up as kind of Greek chorus elements, the moments where the hero is absolutely screwed and now they're going to have some words of encouragement or wisdom or something like that. And here they're just kind of wherever they need to be. And I don't know. It just feels like, oh, we just need a moment with the Force Ghost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're right. And that's why I think The Mandalorian feels like such a breath of fresh air. It's got its imperfections, but it's taking it in places. It's the world building is what I've always loved about Star Wars, but I don't love the repeating story bits. I don't love the fan service, and there's plenty of that in Mandalorian. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's moments where you're like, oh yeah, of course they're going to reference that, or that's cool that they brought that up, or whatever. But it's dealing with other people in a different place with a different problem, and we're away from the saga. We're away from lightsabers for the most part. We're away from the Force with one exception. And that exception is a conditional exception. Like there's a lot going on that just is new and fresh, and I need more of that. So despite the fact that the next thing they're working on is an Obi-Wan series, I'm actually excited about it because I think long form gives them a chance to do something that they don't have to sew up in 2 hours.
Well, more specifically, it seems like long form gives people a little bit less of an opportunity to micromanage. I don't know how much was micromanaged in Mandalorian. To me, the weakest episodes are, well, the weakest episode happens on Tatooine, in my opinion, and for a lot of the reasons that we talked about. But I just hope that they just have a plan. I mean, I think part of the problem or part of the issue that I sympathize with the people who are making Star Wars with is that, they spent $4 billion on this thing.
Right.
So I don't know if there is a higher corporate priority in the world of entertainment than Star Wars making money. And when there's that big of a corporate mandate, that means everybody's got to get their fingerprints on it.
Right.
And that's a hard way to make a coherent movie. There's not a lot of people that can ward off that level of top-down interference. I think it's maybe Steven Spielberg. Like, I don't know if there's anybody else that could just say, shut up, I'm making my movie, and go on with it, or even have cohesion with the script.
Right.
Because, Star Wars, the original trilogy, is about three friends that go on an adventure. This is one of Andrew Main's point. The first time that they're all three together is in Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a failure of the first two movies.
Right.
The first time that Rey meets Poe at all is at the tail end of The Last Jedi, and that's because Colin Trevorrow asked Rian Johnson, who's writing the Last Jedi script, hey, I gotta make a movie where all three of these people are together. Can you like introduce these characters to each other so I don't have to do it at the beginning of this movie?
I forgot about that. I forgot that was so late in the game because now they're undying, let's all hug the three of us and have tears together is a little less impactful because she barely knows the dude. Right? Like she hasn't had the experiences with her yet. They have a little bit more on the, they had the Mad Max hovercraft thing on Tatooine or wherever they were. I don't remember where they were. But anyway, so they had a little bit of getting to know each other, but they really don't know each other. So Poe and Rey are just like, may as well be, I don't know. They don't have anything to do with each other. So when
imagine you met somebody for 5 minutes, and then within 5 minutes, somebody was like, "Oh yeah, that dude dealt drugs."
They're 1 degree LinkedIn connections. That's how.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now it makes sense.
The Emperor was making. Please meet the pilot boy. He may be gay, but don't worry, he winked at Felicity.
All right. Well, if anything,
and then I don't know. They sideline Rose so they can have Finn go to the planet where. Look, I really, it is a moral imperative for me that I want to try and separate politics and Star Wars as much as possible. But if I didn't want to do that, boy, is there a conversation to be had about Finn meeting another black character, and she has the exact same backstory as he does.
Wait, you're a
stormtrooper? I'm a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Are all the black
related.
people?
There's only 3 black people in the galaxy.
Yeah, and they're all stormtroopers.
I'm just saying, it was like a jive handshake away from being something truly offensive.
Well, let's go see if we're all related.
And then you have that moment where Lando, who's just a tacked on donkey tail to this movie for no apparent reason. He already, like, earlier in the movie, he's like, oh, Princess Leia's single again, huh? Lando's got to dip his wick. And it's like, get out of here, you creepy old man. And then he sits down with Lady Finn and is like, so what's up? Like, and then you find out later it might be because he's her father, but it definitely in the movie comes off like, because all we know about Lando, as it's reinforced earlier in the movie, is that he's a horn dog. It's like aha, some young tail for Lando. He just looks at his limp ween. It's like, this deal keeps getting worse all the time.
Pray they don't make it any worse. All right. Well, this has been a good discussion. We've gotten it out of our system. Turns out we agree on a lot more stuff than we probably thought. But hey.
It's just, in summation, what?
I think if I thought about it more, as much as you have, I might dislike the movie more.
No, I think it's.
But I'm not prepared to think about it that much.
I honestly just, I really don't have ill will for it. There are movies that I have ill will for. There are movies that I really don't like. There's, like I think HBO's Watchmen, I genuinely really don't like. Like, I really just have problems with that show because I know it's well written. I know it's well produced. It just does things that really annoy me on a fundamental level. This is just so slapdash. Like, I mean, it basically, if Kylo had cut down all those at the very beginning, cut down all those people, found the glowing triangle, went through the radiation field, got to the lightning planet, and then like a bucket of paint fell on his head, and then like he slipped and his pants split, and his butt was hanging out. Like I would have felt about the movie the exact same way, considering what happened. Like it just was so tonally weird, so disconnected from everything else that at a certain point you just throw your hands up and say, "What?"
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Star Wars, so it's not like I came in here with a chip on my shoulder. I just, it's not exactly what it could be. All right, that's about all we got for that. That's all the gas we have in that tank. Jury, well, I know we already talked about it, but really, people, get out there. RaiseTheDeadPodcast.com. Raise the Dead anywhere you get your podcasts. Episode 5 out today. It's great. You'll love it. Even if you think to yourselves, I don't care about history or political history, I think you'll still like it. There's lots of things I don't care about, but I see a good documentary on it and I suddenly care about it. And I think this could be one of those for you, for those types. So do check it out if you can.
We can't.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Now we can.
No, now we can.
Oh,
yeah.
weird. I just gave you the most glowing promo for Raise the Dead podcast.
Oh my God.
Yeah, should have heard it. It was insane. It was
Yeah.
really something.
Did you do it or are you lying?
I really did. I'm not kidding. It was the chat room can confirm. I was like glowing.
Can you say a shorter version?
I'll say it's really great, and even if you don't think you like political history, you might like it anyway because, like a good documentary, you'll learn something. It's amazing. People should listen to it. That's it in a nutshell.
I got added to a best of list for 2019 on the
wow.
last day of 2019.
Ooh.
Podcast Maniac, I believe, is the name of the blog, but they do best of lists, and they added me at the very, very end.
Excellent.
So I'm very happy about that. Really, I mean, nobody who listens to this will be surprised that I have a tendency to get a little animated, and that obviously is part of the narration style of the show. But it felt really good because this lady or guy, I don't know, was like, "Oh, I really don't like yelling," and this guy definitely yells, but the history is kind of undeniable, and I even liked it past. There's an analogy in episode 4 to a boxing match, which everybody thinks is a wrestling match, but I definitely meant as a boxing match.
Yeah.
But even then, like that's something they definitely don't like, but yet they still really, really liked it, and so that made me really happy. And again, let me just tell you this: episode 5. If you have not listened to anything, and it's like I don't know, history or whatever, literally just listen to episode 5.
Okay.
I'm giving you permission.
Okay.
To just listen to that, and then if you're not hooked there, then you're not going to be hooked. But that is a gigantic information dump that I think you're going to really enjoy.
All right. Well, go check it out. Available now and nowhere else but on your favorite podcast player. iTunes, wherever. Pocket Casts.
Yeah.
Love them all.
Justin, RaiseTheDeadPodcast.com. Oh, by the way, the ebook is available as well. The ebook, the complete transcripts. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free. Otherwise, you can get the link at RaiseTheDeadPodcast.com, and it includes the bonus episode that will eventually be on the audiobook as well. But if you like The Irishman,
yeah, I did.
Imagine the political side, the Kennedy side of The Irishman.
Oh.
Especially the first half of The Irishman. That's what's really covered in the in the bonus episode called The Wheelman. It's number 2 in the transcripts, and it'll be on the audiobook as soon as Audible approves it. It's in the process, folks.
Nice. Well, good luck with that. We'll talk to you next week. Have a fantastic 2020, Jury.
Thank you so much.
Drink
Love you, boys.
responsibly. All right. That's it for Justin. That's it for us. It's a nice,
Cool.
long, beefy.
For the year, for the decade,
Yeah,
Scott.
for the decade. Big, beefy conversation today.
Right.
If you like our show and you're thinking, man, I'd sure like to support it into the coming year, well, good news. Patreon.com/TMS. Oh, I'm not showing Brian. I am now. Patreon.com/TMS. Please head over there and show us your support. If you haven't yet, consider it. And if you have, we love you, and please stay with us. That would be
And
great.
if you do it today, then it's even better because it's the start of a brand new month and year and everything, but brand new month tomorrow.
That's
So
right. That's right. Perfect
time
time.
to do it.
Perfect time to do it.
Jump on the Patreon bandwagon, and you can play games with us when we do our next play date.
Yeah. Imagine just like a couple of bucks a month. A month.
Imagine.
A month. Nobody charges that cheap for anything. Are you kidding? Oh, the entertainment you get for so cheap. We're so dumb the way we did it. But we're happy to lean in, and we appreciate those who have.
Right.
TMS Mashups, big thanks to Jamie for the year of Mashups. We'll have more of him next year. Frogpants.com/TMS is our website, and we'll continue to be in 2020. TheMorningStream@gmail.com is our email address. If you have any thoughts or feelings about all the Star Wars talk, that's the place to send those comments. That's TheMorningStream@gmail.com. You can find everything else at the site. That is going to do it for us. Brian, you have a song for time?
I do have a song. This is kind of a running tradition that we have here on TMS to close out the year. The last song we play isn't a cover, but it's a mashup. This is DJ Earworm's United State of Pop mashup for 2019, featuring a bunch of songs you won't recognize because that music is garbage. Just kidding. There's actually, I'm sad to admit that there's a bunch of stuff in here that I do recognize, and this is a really good one. Thorin, as always, suggested this one,
Nice.
and it's a great one. Here is DJ Earworm's 2019 United State of Pop mashup, which is entitled or subtitled, what is it? It is subtitled Runaway. Runaway! Runaway!
Runaway.
There you go.
Run away,
Happy
little
2020, everybody.
Yes,
Run
Happy
away.
New Year, everybody. The tradition continues. Here it is. We play it, and we'll see you guys Thursday for the first day of the next year. Goodbye. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
I know the name.
Oh, a Mandalorian there. Oh, he knows the name.
Yeah.
Darth Marcus, it says, did you guys see the Razor Crest, aka the Mando ship in The Rise of Skywalker? I didn't see it specifically, but I assume every single Star Wars ship of any note was in there.
Any Star Wars ship that they had to create a 3D rendering of and that they had in Maya was going to be in that.
Yeah. I think that's true. And also, I think that it's very likely that things like Slave One are hidden in there, or just weird ships from
basically any. Once you've got that plugged into Garmin, that planet.
Yep.
As soon as other ships download that update, they